What is up, BattleBots, Robot Wars, and BuggleBots fans alike? Hardcore Kid here with a new episode of the Hardcore Podcast. Tonight, we're going to be looking at episode 11 of BattleBots 2019, and joining me as always, I have Otaku Nate.
Man, oh man, this was a good episode. I'm just gonna come out say it straight up. This was probably the best episode of the season.
Yeah, honestly, I can't name a single bad match in this episode. I mean,
like even the short matches were entertaining.
Yeah, it was great. Also joining us tonight, we have Ryan Beaver.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Hey, what's happening with you?
Not much.
Yeah. And last but certainly not least, he just made his big return from Colorado for a robot event. It's Resetti's Replicas.
I'm part of the Mile High Club.
Ah, yeah, you did some weed when you were over there?
Year, Rocky Mountain Way.
Oh, sorry, what was your question, Brandon? Nate was talking over you.
Did you do some weed while you were up there?
I'd rather not say.
Nah, yeah, okay. Can you recite the alphabet?
The alphabet. I mean, it's Monday now. It's Wednesday now, and so it'd be pretty. Meaning that if I had any, I'd have brought it with me on a plane, which is a pretty stupid thing to do.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like they'd let that in over those soda bottles from Galaxy's Edge at Disney.
Yeah. So tonight we're looking at episode 11 of BattleBots, and like Nate said, this is probably the best episode of the season so far, because I can't think of a single bad match in this episode. Every match had moments, it had big hits, it had some very close decisions. I thought it was great.
And it has one of the best fights of the entire season on there. My parents are still talking about it to this day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So the main event of tonight is last year's Most Destructive Robot winner, Rotator, taking on Death Roll, the big Aussies with the Crocodile Dundee knife on the back. And yeah, but before we get to the main card, we do have some good news. YouTube finally owned up to their mistakes, and they explained that the robot fights were in fact not animal abuse, and they finally gave everybody their robot videos back.
Which is ironic considering that there was a lot of animal abuse in tonight's episode.
Oh dear, especially when you have like Duck and Ribbot, and yeah. But
did you guys catch the latest Drop Zone with Steve and Anthony?
Who?
No, I didn't see it.
The guys pushed to exit.
Basically, their intro is a parody of the old Top Gear intro back when Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond, and James May were still on the show.
The only Top Gear anybody should acknowledge.
Exactly. And Steve's intro was simply, tonight, animal cruelty, and more animal cruelty.
I gotta say, I'm amazed at how viral this whole controversy became.
It was everywhere, man.
Yeah, and one of the videos was Speed Wedge versus your bot, Ryan Ubersaw.
Yep.
Oh yeah, you're famous now.
I wouldn't say famous. I mean, of all the fights they picked to take out, they took out the one that had my saw breaking after the first hit. So that's always good, I guess. Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I mean, they got a screenshot of your robot on the Vice article, and that was pretty cool.
You know what this means, Ryan? You got to rebuild Ubersaw.
Well, I'm considering it. Right now, I'm just trying to choose between doing the more sensible option and doing a chop saw robot, or doing the batshit insane option and ripping off Gyrobot.
Well,
I mean, there was a Gyrobot in Colorado.
Route.
Or as Nate sometimes likes to say it, keep it simple, stupid.
Vote in the comments
Nate
of this
invented
video.
that?
No.
Well, no, it's what's known as the KISS principle across the internet.
Yeah. So.
Well, I mean, I'll tell you that there was actually a Gyrobot in Colorado this past weekend.
That's what Yeah, I know. That was what kind of got the gears in my head
Oh,
thinking. It was all,
yeah.
and I also remember it's the one that got stuck between the Lexan.
Oh yeah, that was brilliant.
Oh my lord.
So
All I
yeah,
can say is thank God that was an exhibition match and the tournament was over because the venue people shut us down after that.
Yeah,
ooh.
Nate. Oh boy. Well, are they thinking of having another event next year?
Yeah, they have more than one in Colorado each year. I
yeah.
think they got something cooking in November.
Cook up some of those brownies, hash brownies. Yeah, Nate and I were actually thinking of going to Colorado this year, but then
cool.
when the Texas Robot Rebellion 3.2 came up, we were like, you know what? Let's go to Texas first. And yeah.
Well, you got another chance to do it this year, and you guys can smoke weed since you're apparently so interested in it.
We're gonna lay off the weed.
Smoke weed every day.
Who are you, Martavius Bryant?
Exactly.
I've been to Colorado once. I didn't smoke any weed there, but I did go on the Cog Railway and then get a T-shirt that said "Keep calm and get high."
Nice.
I was gonna clean my room until I got high.
I was gonna build my butt, then I got high.
I
was gonna
was
do something productive, and then I got high.
I was gonna charge my batteries, but I got high.
Thank you, Kevin Pritchard.
I was
Hey,
gonna build
can I
my
say a fun
robot,
battery fact? Since you brought it up?
What's
the
up?
money.
When charging a LiPo battery, the optimal maximum voltage is 4.20 volts.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're charging a battery, as always, remember, don't go over 420 and you won't blaze it.
Oh,
Nice. Yeah, so with all that out of the way, we may as well talk about the episode. And a few things to note. Again, there's no bonus match, although the Discovery Facebook group did have Shatter versus Kingpin.
I didn't see it, but I refuse to watch any fight where one robot refuses to work.
Yeah.
Well, that's why it was a bonus fight.
Yeah, it's sad because I like Kingpin. I love the team behind Kingpin. They entered V for Victory in Robo games, and that robot is amazing.
Yeah. This one didn't want to work. Like, it started, Shatter came in on it, bumped it, then the drive on Kingpin just didn't work. Shatter hit it a few times with its axe, and then Kingpin blew its own wheels off. So, congratulations, I just saved you the entire match. But
That's good because I didn't see it. So
don't worry, you didn't miss nothing.
okay, good.
So we'll start off episode 11 of BattleBots 2019 with Tornado versus Razor 6.0, Quantum versus Duck.
Yeah, you stole my joke. I was about to say, OMG, it's Razor versus Tornado in 2019.
Yeah.
But the question is, did Duck cheat?
No, of course not.
You know,
Not very well.
I think Duck could have benefited from an anti-crusher weapon in this match. Because, again, they had a chance to flip Quantum, but the beak just doesn't have any reach to it. Like it would get under Quantum, fire the lifter, and then it would just slide out from under it. And that just allowed Quantum to get in some good bites and just...
As Hal Rucker said, it was the perfect shape. It was shaped like a sandwich.
Yeah. Anyone ever have a duck sandwich?
I've tried duck before, not my kind of thing.
Oh, really? I had duck at a Chinese restaurant once, and it was delicious.
I have not had duck yet.
Oh, you got to. It's very fatty compared to chicken, so it's great.
I like chicken and I like steak. Lamb and duck, not so sure.
Same
Like,
here.
you don't like
It's almost
lamb?
like we're brothers.
Yeah, lamb is not as great. It's very gamey and sort of minty. It's
Well,
very
but
I
acquired
actually don't
taste.
mind lamb.
Are you kidding me?
If you want a real-
I
if you
love some lamb.
If you want a real culinary adventure, try eating bear meat.
Ugh.
That's a thing?
Who do you
Well,
think you
yeah.
are, John Marston from Red Dead Redemption?
Well, actually, I was just watching some Shokugeki no Soma, and there's an episode where Soma has to make a meal using bear meat, and it's really hard to cook.
Oof. Yucky.
That would be an interesting episode of Top Chef.
Or chopped. Let's just have a whole bunch of different animal meats. We have bear. We have duck. We have pig's ears. All kinds of
But
wackiness.
you know what? Okay, you just gave me a great idea for a chopped episode. Get like these like hyper like animal rights people, and then get them like the craziest meats like bear meats and stuff like that.
Oh, that'd be perfect.
Oh, and they also have to be like vegetarians as well.
You know, for some reason I keep my head is going, my brain is okay. Edit this out.
Mm-hmm.
For some reason my brain keeps repeating to me, you don't win friends with salad. You don't win friends with salad. You don't win friends with salad.
Okay.
You don't win friends with salad.
I hate salad.
Wow, this got really off. So
Yeah,
the fight then.
I think we talked more about eating animals than we talked about this match. You know what this means? There is more animal abuse in this video we're recording than there were in this entire series of BattleBots.
YouTube doesn't get us first. PETA will.
Yes. I'm gonna put in the description animal abuse murder. There we are.
You need and your thumb. You know, your thumbnail should be like all the animal themed robots on like a buffet table.
Perfect. That's what I'm gonna do.
Oh yeah, that would be great.
Yes.
Uh,
All right. So yeah, there isn't much to say about the match. It was a quantum match, just going ahead and biting into this nice big box.
It's honestly, I prefer quantum matches to whatever Razor does.
Yeah, because at least quantum moves. It can pick it up and carry it around nice and smooth and carry it to the hazards. Razor just kind of lifts up and then puts it down.
I'm actually more impressed with Quantum overall, especially with their weapon too. I mean, their weapon has been able to go through a lot of materials this season pretty easily compared to Razor, who struggled to get through Voltark.
Yeah.
Well, it hasn't really struggled to get through some material, but it has gotten through some. Blacksmith, anyone?
Yeah.
AR-500, yo.
This fight, however, he just went through duck like crap through a goose.
Oh,
That's one way of
good, interesting analogy you have there, Ryan.
Yep, stole it from Godzilla 2000.
That's a lot of fish.
I still don't get it.
So, Quantum and Duck, Quantum gets the win, and both machines finish the main season 2-2. What do you think? I say Quantum will probably get into the top 16. I'm not so sure about Duck, unfortunately.
I don't think either personally will make it in. Quantum's wins have been mostly against not very powerful weapon robots, and also I just feel like neither of these robots are going to make it to the top 16. Duck especially, which is a shame because Duck is such a great robot, but
Duck got really lucky in its win against Cobalt. If Cobalt doesn't get stuck on the floor, Duck goes 1-3.
Yeah, and its victory over Bombshell was kind of, well, pretty much anyone can beat Bombshell. So
well, speaking of Bombshell,
yeah,
no,
that's the third match.
Yeah.
The next match is the other robot that Quantum beat. It's the two most cursed robots in this season, Blacksmith versus Captain Shredderator.
And this was a fun little match.
Yes, I loved it.
Oh, I loved it too.
This was the match that really just made me happy.
Like Al Kindle, Blacksmith has had he's had a match of the year candidate with the Sawblaze match, but it's like the first match he was powerless because Quantum got held on to him the whole time and couldn't separate him. And the second match was just a brutally close fight with Sawblaze and just went to Sawblaze. So
at this point, I the reason I took Blacksmith off the Prove It list, it's more a case of, Al Kindle's just had bad luck.
Yeah, he's the behemoth of this season.
Yeah, and honestly, I would say that that most of his losses weren't necessarily his fault. I mean, I would say this has probably been one of his better seasons, regardless of the outcome.
I would put Blacksmith in the top 16.
I would too. Hey,
I
he had two amazing matches with Kraken and Sawblaze. His loss against Quantum that wasn't his fault, and he had a win over Captain Shredderator, and he just dominated the captain. I mean,
Well, to be fair, anyone can beat Captain Shredderator.
Yeah, this is not their year.
Yeah,
this has been Captain Shredderator. I think they need, has had so many issues this season.
Like
the Navies need to hang. Captain Shredderator needs to hang it up, or at least the Navies need to come back with something different,
something invertible.
What? So make Captain Shredderator a ring spinner?
They could do something like that because, well, like we've said before, it's 2019. Captain Shredderator still doesn't have a Shremek, and they have to do like something to try and get it back onto its wheels. And when I saw the wings on the top of the Captain Shredderator, I'm like, I don't know, maybe they could help, but
I don't know.
They actually did.
Could work.
Because Blacksmith didn't really fire its hammer in the first part of the fight. It mostly just used the power of wedge.
And it was a good wedge, absorbing all those hits.
True.
Oh, yeah.
If that hammer was at full power, then there'd definitely be a liability of them like potentially breaking it on one of those teeth.
Yeah, but
So I didn't notice though that I think one of those teeth was actually two welded pieces instead of one. So I was worried that they actually connected. That if that one connected, it would just snap right off. Considering Captain Shredder has a tendency to lose all its teeth by the end of a match, especially with that flat-sided shell.
It lost its teeth in this match, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm actually shocked they don't use the angled side one more. I feel like the teeth on that one are much more solid compared to this one.
Yeah, so what this match came down to was Captain Shredderator was landing hits on Blacksmith and just spinning it all around. And then it blew magic smoke and the spinning ring died. And so the rest of the match was...
When Blacksmith landed that first hit on Captain Shredderator, that was a spectacle.
Yeah, like my favorite part is definitely when Blacksmith drops the hammer and you can see it pushing it in flames over towards the pulverizer, and then the next thing you know, you have the Captain Shredderator being flattened by these two hammers, and it's awesome to see.
You go, now I go, you go, I go, as Chris and Kenny said during that fight.
So, but Blacksmith has this match in the bag, but Kindle, he wants to get that KO. So he just slams Captain Shredderator right into the screws and flips it right over.
That's not getting screwed over.
Oh, that was beautiful. And then Blacksmith is just slamming in on the underbelly, and it's great. It's great.
Sorry, soldier from Team Fortress 2. Stars and Stripes do not beat Hammer and Sickle.
Indeed. Yeah, this was a lot of fun.
Or in this case, just the hammer.
I don't know.
Hammer and Flames.
The two green wedge things could be considered sickles, no?
Fair enough.
But yeah, Blacksmith gets the win. Al Kindle is happy. And,
I mean, as happy as Al Kindle can be.
Yeah, and
that's gonna be one of our shunt posting memes of the. We're gonna have in our award show. We're gonna have to have a category for shunt posting meme of the series, and so far, Angry Al Kindle is one of the front runners.
Al himself has been using it almost nonstop. He made it his profile picture. Every time someone posts anything about Al, it's just he posts that picture. In fact, there was actually someone posted a picture of like the old Nerk events back in the day with Al Kindle driving
Enforcer
with the chainsaw. Tyrant. Yeah, back in like the old early 2000 Nerk events. And he was and he was actually smiling, and someone in the comments posted "Smiling Al," and Al immediately just posted that picture of this angry
Al. Yeah. So this was good, and so Blacksmith joins the 2-2 club.
Hooray!
So yep, good way to finish the main season, I think. And who knows? Maybe he'll make the top 16 because he's definitely had a good showing.
I think at this point, Al's pretty much earned it.
Yeah,
I'd say I'm kind of mixed on it. Maybe, who knows? I don't know. I think he's had a good run this season. I mean, both of his losses were good losses, and his wins were good wins. Maybe, I don't know. I'm still gonna hold off until I see what the rest of the season has to offer.
Plus, it'll be refreshing to see a weapon that's not a spinner in the top 16.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know Hydra is definitely going to be in the top 16.
Oh my god, yes.
Any other non-spinners we can think of?
I'd say Shatter has an all right chance.
I think
don't know.
free shipping could I think free shipping could make it.
I don't know.
Mm,
It's tough.
You don't know
Maybe?
about what do you call
Maybe.
it, Shatter?
Shatter, it's had a lot of easy opponents. That like they fought Kingpin, which didn't work. They fought Wanhu, who is Wanhu,
Yeah.
and their first loss was against Witch Doctor, where the axe didn't even work. But there is some news. I found out who their fourth opponent is. It's going to be Minotaur. So
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's
That'll
going to be a
make or
good
break.
battle.
Yeah.
I think
You know-
just putting up a good showing against Minotaur would be acceptable.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know how it's probably not going to do well since Minotaur is just a solid brick, and as we saw in the Kingpin match, the axe can land hits but can't really like penetrate. So I don't know.
I think the sheer power from it could be enough to give Minotaur trouble. If something gets loose in there, like a speed controller chip or what have you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you don't want to go for the penetrative force because that opens up a whole can of worms. Like, what if you get stuck, or if it just doesn't pierce, then maybe you don't have the concussive force to do anything.
Yeah.
Like I mean, if they used the sharp axe against Wanhu, they might not have won so easily.
And granted, like he said, he did some damage to Wanhu. So who knows? We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe creativity is a factor in the selection committee.
Yeah.
Like simply on the virtue of being the second best non-spinner robot.
Yeah. Who knows? The selection committee. No. What are we thinking? We're wiser than they are.
Well, last year they didn't have to be like subjective at all. They had enough robots with 3 or more wins to fill the entire thing.
Yeah, this
Save
year.
Scorpios, which was an obvious boot, and then what was it, like Desperado and 2 Rumbles, and there you go.
Yeah.
This season's going to be more complicated since I got the Wikipedia page open, and we at present only have 9 robots that have 3 or more wins.
Nice. Yeah, it's gonna
And that counts Black Dragon.
It's definitely gonna come down to who comes out on top in the 2-2 club.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
You know who isn't going to the top 16? Bombshell.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Well,
really did-
most
Wait,
likely not.
I have a comparison for Bombshell, and it's a sports reference that's going to go over a lot of people's heads. But
Ooh, is it the Cleveland Browns because they don't win?
no, it's the University of Kansas's football team. Because everybody knows that the University of Kansas are, first and foremost, a basketball school. But they have a football program too, and the University of Kansas never ever does well. Like a majority of their seasons, they go like 4-7 or 3-8 or 0-11 in many cases.
Wow, they're better than Rutgers.
No, no, oh please, no. They wish they were Rutgers. But Kansas had 1 year when they were almost in the top 4 for national contenders. KTO did a video on that Kansas team. But ever since then, Kansas has pretty much been reverted to being the laughingstock of the college football. And I don't want to say that about Bombshell because the Chaos Corps, I like the aesthetic they have, but just Bombshell had that one really good season and then nothing.
No. And it's frustrating because they could have beaten Lockjaw, but it's just one hit onto the wheels.
They got a great hit on Bombshell.
Bombshell and Lockjaw.
Sorry, they got a great hit on Lockjaw, hitting one of the rear tires, making it difficult for Don Hudson to drive.
Yeah, and then Lockjaw just burned out at the end.
Oh yeah, in a puff of magic smoke.
Smoke.
Gotta watch those kill cells.
Yeah. So yeah, and then Bombshell. Like to be fair, like seeing Bombshell gyro trying to keep itself alive was a cool visual.
Yeah, it is. It is. this was without question Bombshell's best fight this season. Just nothing has gone right for them.
No. It's
Yeah.
a shame.
I think a lot of this, for me, this fight was just the fact that I can understand why they want to use boat mode, but its lack of invulnerability is its biggest flaw.
Yeah.
I mean, boat mode can really help tank some of the spinners, but the fact that it was not built to be invertible in boat mode is a huge problem.
Yeah. So Lockjaw just got the win by the skin of its teeth, because right after Bombshell stopped moving, Lockjaw just burned up. And I gotta say, how many motors has Don Hudson gone through with this thing in just this one season? Because he burned himself out in the Duck match, he burned himself out in this match, and he burned himself out in both the Las Vegas matches.
And Tombstone probably destroyed at least one.
Good lord. Like Lockjaw is most likely going to the top 16, but unless some miracles happen, I just don't see it going any further than the top 16 or maybe top 8. Because reliability wise, it's smokers in Colorado would say there's too much smoke coming out of this thing. Yeah. What do you think, Nate?
Man, yeah, Lockjaw, they're definitely going to make the top 16 without question. My mom is going to be very happy about that because she loves Don Hudson. But they're having serious issues with their motors, and it's going to cost them.
I'm trying to think, was it motors? Because even though there was smoke coming out, it looked like it was still going.
Yeah, that looked like lipo smoke to me.
Oh.
It's probably not their motors so much as it is their batteries.
Yikes.
Because I think we can tell the difference between motor smoke and lipo smoke.
Yeah, if it was speed controller smoke, it would be pink. If it was lipo smoke, it'd be a nice big white fog. And motor smoke, I think for the most part, it's very grayish.
It's I was gonna say it's more gray than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it also rises, whereas lipo smoke just kind of hangs on the ground.
Yeah, lipo smoke is more like fluffy clouds, and motor smoke is much more, I would say, loose and more flowing.
Yeah, I mean, Halloween's coming up, so if your fog machine breaks, just set a lipo battery on fire.
Yeah,
please don't do that. You'll burn your house down.
Yeah. So there was so much smoke that came out of this thing. The Brazilian government would deny funding to put it out.
Oh
dear.
Well, don't lipo fires put themselves out or something?
Like the fire itself runs out of fuel really quickly, but there's still a lot of smoke, and it's something you want to deal with because it's not pleasant.
Yeah, I mean, it's the fumes that from lipo smoke are not pleasant at all, so that's why they always have those big fans on the side ready to go whenever a robot starts smoking.
Or that big, or that big vacuum that they got for the arena now that sucks up all the smoke.
They got a rig
that's exactly
just
what I was
dedicated to
talking
lipo
about.
fires.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big yellow tube that I was literally just talking about.
Yeah, so Lockjaw gets a smoky win, and now we move on to Tombstone in the middle of the card, taking on Gruff. And
oh my god, what a match. That is all I'm going to say about that.
Like I've said before, the one weapon that is really capable of taking out Tombstone is a nice, big, solid wedge. And Gruff, I think Gruff has fought Last Rites a couple times, and I think may have beaten it at some point. But yeah, Gruff is definitely a robot that is capable of beating something like Tombstone, and they almost did. And I know there is a bit of controversy behind the decision, but we'll get around to that. First thing to note about the match, Gruff got its sweet revenge on the floor when Tombstone lifted up and Tombstone banged into one of the kill saws and destroyed it.
Oh yeah. Even Chris and Kenny acknowledged it.
Oh dear. And then yeah, Gruff was just pressurizing Tombstone the match, pushing it into the walls, not wanting that blade to get spun up. There was a beautiful hit where Tombstone just went flinging all the way across the arena into the screws and got stuck there. And it's like, holy crap, Gruff might actually win this. But then, but then Tombstone started coming back, started landing hits, took out the flamethrower.
I was gonna say that, yeah.
Yeah, Flipper was all mangled, and by the end you can see Gruff is starting to lose drive, and Tombstone is starting to rack up points. So
I actually think that Tombstone straight up warped the frame of Gruff.
Yeah, Gruff was a mess at the end of this match.
I know.
If you look at the end, and
I think the big turning point was when Tombstone got upside down, so his blade was higher off the ground.
Yeah.
He was able to reach the top easier and go for the flipper and flamethrower easier.
You know what this match? Or keep going.
I don't know. I was just gonna say that's why I think the turning point in the fight was that Tombstone, his blade was no longer running against the ground, so it was nothing but the wedge. Now he could actually reach on the top and start taking out his weaponry and start causing massive damage. Even if he didn't get warped at the end, that still would have been huge damage points for him, and I think Ray knew that.
This match really reminded me of Tombstone's match against Beta from Season 2. And same kind of, it's the same kind of story with that match, especially when there are definitely a lot of people who disagree with the judge's decision, including my folks who had a complete meltdown after they heard the decision.
Parents, my mom was understanding of it. My dad felt that Gruff was robbed.
Yeah, Mom wanted to call up the Discovery Channel and tell them to cancel the show.
Oh!
Like,
she did, right?
No, I hope she didn't. It's like, I think this is probably the first time she's ever seen Gruff. But, yeah, I can definitely see where there's some controversy. But, I honestly think Tombstone definitely won this match, just based on the fact that it did damage, and like Beta, Gruff was falling apart at the end, and Tombstone was just ranking it up. So
that one hit that Tombstone got on Gruff, where it hit Gruff and Tombstone just went soaring across the arena, just bouncing around like Mr. Perfect.
Exactly. Yeah, can you imagine if Tombstone did lose this match, though? They would have ended up 2-2.
Oh my god!
Holy moly!
Yeah, I mean a tournament where Minotaur, Bronco, and Tombstone would have not been like super qualified for the top 16.
Yeah, it would have been strange.
I know,
but
of course, Bite Force ruins that because Bite Force wins everything.
Exactly. There has to be something that can take out Bite Force, and well, we don't know what Bite Force's fourth match is, but hopefully they get a really tough opponent. But
yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, because well, we'll see what happens. But yeah, Tombstone gets the win and goes 3-1, so they're most likely going into the top 16. Gruff, I believe they have one more match to go because they're 2-2 right now, and one of those losses was in the Desperado tournament. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully they'll finish strong.
I hope Gruff finishes strong. I do think we need more good control robots.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and now we come to the battle of the vertical spinners. It's Endgame versus Cobalt. And
you know, we've said that we don't like one-hit KOs on this show, and this match had a one-hit KO, but if there's actual tension in the battle, and the one-hit KO is something like that, we have no complaints.
No. And like going in, this should have been an easy win for Cobalt, because Endgame has been just struggling the entire season. Like, even in this match, you can see they were still having problems with their drive belts, that they were doing a lot of limping around, and sometimes they would be able to go forward, sometimes they'd be stuck going in circles, and so this should be an easy win for Cobalt. But then Endgame manages to take out the front wedge of Cobalt, which means that Cobalt really can't get underneath Endgame because the disc is too high off the ground. So it continues, and at first I'm like, I hope this isn't just going to be a battle of Gyro dancing around for 3 minutes. Oh,
okay.
No. Oh, no.
Oh no.
Tell us what happened, Nate.
That one hit from Endgame and boom! Cobalt goes flying into the air, just doing tons and tons of flips like it's a mini Will Ospreay.
Oh.
And it just ends up right on top doing the thing. It's perfect enough to get the John Reed Good Hit of the Night award.
Yep, I'm putting it down for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And to think, like, Endgame, what's their record now? Are they,
They're 2-2, I think.
2-2? I know they had the Desperado tournament matches. I think they still have one more match, but, they definitely, like, if this was, like, last season, they'd definitely be pretty high on the list. In this match, and for most of this season, they've been the underdog. But they just came in and delivered that nice big punch to Cobalt, and that was it. They got a come from behind victory. It was glorious. Ryan, what'd you think of this match?
Well, I guess for starters, I might as well go ahead and start off with a joke. Well, are we sure that that Cobalt is British? Because it seemed very French in this match.
Oh, Moldy's not gonna like that.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Now we're never gonna get him on the show.
Well, too bad for you now. But yeah, I was actually I don't remember who it was, but I was at the BattleBots viewing at WPI, and they had Leanne from Valkyrie, Jonathan from Huge, and Jameson from Sawblades, and one of them was actually watching the fight. They actually turned away for a minute because I guess they were getting kind of bored, and suddenly they heard this huge bang, and it just scared the crap out of them. I don't remember who it was, but I think it was either Jameson or Jonathan, one of the two.
When I was watching this match, I was just thinking that, and then all of a sudden there was a hit, and I went, "Holy shit!" and just stepped up out of my chair, and I'm like, "Wow, I was not expecting that."
This was, as I said, we don't like one-hit KOs, but there was a lot of tension with, who's gonna shoot first. And as it turns out, Endgame, we finally saw the Endgame that we used to know.
We're in the Endgame now. Ian, you got any last words?
Yeah, it was disappointing. I thought that that Cobalt was completely helpless after losing that one part. I don't know. It was a moment of weakness that we hadn't seen before.
I just loved the fact that it ended up embedded in the battle box ceiling.
That
dear
was
Lord.
Amazing.
I saw the picture. That was crazy.
I wonder how many ladders it took them to get it out.
I don't know. Anybody
Probably just one.
Anybody got an 80-foot ladder?
Maybe they just had a large broom and they poked at it until it fell down.
Yeah.
Realistically, I think they just brought like a cherry picker in there.
Scissor
Really?
lift. Scissor lift.
I guess it does beg the question: how much effort are they really going to go through just to recover a part?
Well, I think it's not so much I think recovering the part as so much it is making sure the box is secure.
Yeah.
Because it can get lodged into the ceiling. That's still a hole in the box.
Yeah. Well, what if what if it flops down and decapitates somebody?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm more concerned about a part going actually breaking through the glass, but I think they just want to make sure that the box was secure.
Yeah. Yeah, so Endgame gets the win. Cobalt is now in the 2-2 club. So, again, making this end of the main season looking very interesting. We're going to see, but I'm sure Cobalt will get into the top 16. If it doesn't, that's a tragedy. But, yeah, so Endgame gets the win, and now we get the battle of WPI versus MIT.
And this, I can say right now, this was the fight, when I was at the WPI viewing, this was the fight that everyone was excited for.
Yeah. It's Ribot versus Sawblaze, and, like, these two guys, we've seen Silent Spring and Squishy and whoever fight multiple times, and it's usually groundbreaking. This match was...
it was bullying. It was animal cruelty.
This was animal cruelty right here. Definitely. Oh, just Ribot got completely skinned. And,
oh my god. It's a shame we didn't get to see the frog on fire.
Yeah.
Oh
It is interesting to see what Ribot does look without the frog.
It looks
gimmick.
like King Buxton. It looks like King Bee.
It looks like King Bee with the little spinner on the front. It actually kind of looks like a combination of like if Paul Bunyan, but with an actual spinner that works. Yeah, but Saw Blaze just bullying this thing. At some point, but Saw Blaze's saw actually broke. Like it actually bent.
Yeah.
And that saw blade was actually at the filming, at the viewing. Jameson did not bring saw blades, but he did bring the blade, and it was fucked up.
Yeah.
And
I bet there's a solid brick hidden under all that frog foam.
They actually explained that for this fight. They actually added an extra layer of titanium to the top to help protect it under the frog, because they actually explained that a lot of people think there was no top armor under the frog, but there actually is. And for this fight, they actually added an extra layer of titanium underneath to. Oh, and there was actually a couple other interesting things learned about this fight, and just the tournament in general. I actually found this out very interestingly. It's a bit unrelated to the fight, but you're actually allowed 5 pounds extra for decorative material.
That's my kind of event.
Now that's awesome. I like that.
So if you have a non-functional aesthetic, you actually get 5 pounds extra, which is good considering the frog took up about 27 pounds of weight.
Nice. Yeah. And,
Ian, if you're ever thinking of BattleBots, I think that'd be your kind of event.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Just stick a alligator on it or something.
Yeah, Colorado actually gave me a bit of leeway there too, and as a bonus, they didn't count my cosmetics getting ripped off as actual damage.
Cool. Yes, and last thing to note, we would like to wish Jameson Go a very belated happy birthday.
Yes, and also, damn you, Chris, for eating half the cupcake.
Oh, that little happy birthday segment made the whole show.
Yeah. I know. Jameson and David were basically both shocked they actually put it in. I guess they knew about it, but I guess they didn't realize they were actually going to put it in the show.
Yeah, well.
So
it was definitely entertaining.
Chris and Kenny, as I said, they've gotten so much better, but that just, I guess you could say, it takes the cake.
I'd say I definitely do say though, as comic relief, Chris and Kenny do a great job because during the fights they're very serious commentators with a few jokes thrown in there, but they definitely do add. They actually are genuinely funny guys, I have to say.
Yeah, they're not like Jerry Lawler or Tim. As I shouldn't be picking on Tim Green given his current situation.
No, they're a lot of fun, and I hope Chris got J-Mo another cupcake to make up for the one he gobbled up.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was fun. And which leads us to the main event, Rotator versus Death Roll. Rotator won Most Destructive Robot last year, and here it got absolutely destroyed.
Well, I have to give Rotator all the credit with everything they had to go through, because they broke their frame and they pretty much had to rebuild their robot. And what we've seen of it, I put Rotator on the prove it list, but just for perseverance alone, I took them off.
Yeah.
Plus that victory over Tombstone definitely worked.
Exactly.
Oh, without question.
Yeah.
And I would say that they probably would have done a lot better had their blade not slapped in half in the first few minutes of the fight.
Yeah, that's like do they still have the discs?
I don't know. So one thing I will say about Rotator though, even though it did lose this fight,
it kept going.
Holy hell, this thing is a tank.
Oh my god. Just, as I said, this may not have been the best fight of the night, but it was certainly the most impressive on the end of Rotator.
I think what Rotator has lacked in damage this season, it is more than made up for than just pure tankiness. Because this thing has just, even if it hasn't been the most destructive robot, it's just been able to tank hit after hit after hit and still keep
Victor
going.
Soto deserves all the praise in the world for basically taking a lemon and making more than enough lemonade with that one.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
actually, to be honest, both robots this fight have been super impressive. Rotator for his tankiness, but Death Roll, I would actually give the award for most improved robot.
Same here.
By a mile margin. I mean,
100%.
We're definitely gonna be having an award for most improved.
Mm.
and
Yeah, that disc will be going to the end of time.
I mean,
And-
Death Roll. This
If there is any vertical spinner in this competition that can beat Bite Force,
Beat Bite Force, and I think win this whole championship. I think
I
they
I
can
think
do it.
Death
I would-
Roll and Hydra are my favorites for the giant nut.
Same
I'm
here.
going to be honest. I would genuinely be happy if Death Roll won, because I would say that this is the kind of thing I could imagine Ian building. Just the most aesthetically pleasing spinner I've seen in a long time, and I love it. I love the aesthetic of this robot being the whole Australian outback crocodile theme going for it.
Yeah.
And like Ian, if you ever decide to add a weapon to Quicksand, I would not be disappointed if you built a 3-pound Death Roll.
Oh yeah.
But Death Roll, considering how they first started and just got absolutely wrecked, and then they came back with this monster, is breathtaking. Both of these robots have been so improved since their debut season, I know I'm gushing a lot, but these two have just really impressed me this season.
Mm.
And one last thing I will say though, that this was really funny. Basically during the viewing, we were actually all hoping for Death Roll to take off the last wedge. We were all cheering, like, get the last one, because he tore off all the other wedgelets. So we were hoping that they would tear off the fourth wedge, and we were all like, oh, when the fight ended and the last wedge was still there.
Yeah. This was a fun match. Like, yeah, yes, it was definitely one-sided, but it's still fun just to see, like, destruction everywhere and Rotator still going despite being completely disarmed, quite literally. Well, Death Roll has the arm. But I thought this was a good main event to cap off a hell of an episode.
Yeah.
It was
So should we give-
It was one-sided, but it was a good one-sided.
Yeah.
Yeah, the right one-sided where, one robot's doing all the work, but the other one isn't going to quit.
Mm.
That's
You
the
got to
thing.
work. I know you've beaten me, but I'm going to make you work to earn it. It's that
That's-
sort of mentality.
Yeah, it's like okay, so basically I have no chance of winning this. So I guess that means I have nothing left to lose.
Exactly. Yeah, so that covers episode 11 of BattleBots 2019. I don't recall how many times we've given 10s to episodes.
Once.
I think we gave Robot Wars Series 10 a 10.
We gave the final a 10.
Oh yeah, that's
the
almost unanimously the best episode.
final was a 10. I think we gave the BuggleBots Grand Final a 10.
Yeah, we gave the BuggleBots grand final a 10.
And I think somewhere along the line we gave some kind of 10. Maybe it was to last season or something. But
I gave
we
a 10 to.
We gave it the 10 to semifinal 2.
yeah.
Oh, I gave one to the one with propeller head.
Oh yeah, that was Heat D of Extreme Warriors. That was fun. Yeah, but if you haven't guessed already, I'm giving this episode a 10. There was no bad fights, lots of good matches, some redemptions, some destruction, lots of good hits. Perfect.
I'm giving this one a perfect 10 as well. There's everything you want out of a BattleBots episode. There's quick matches, there's long matches, we had a match of the year contender, a fun main event that may have been one-sided, but told an amazing story. One of the most spectacular one-hit KOs. Like, the only real dud was the Lockjaw Bombshell match, but I was entertained by that, considering that Don Hudson had to work to beat Bombshell because he couldn't really drive properly.
How about you, Ryan, on a scale of 1 to 10?
You know what? Screw it. I can't think right now. I'm just going to give it a 10 out of 10 because screw it. Mob mentality.
Yeah.
10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Horror. Best episode.
Settle down, Rain Man.
No, it's JonTron. It's
10 out of
JonTron.
10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10
And
out of 10.
Ian, it's down to you. On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you give?
Well, I'm just going to preface this by saying this was a very, very, very good episode. It just had a couple of things, a couple of results that I was a little disappointed about. Gruff versus Tombstone, and I mean that does weigh for me. Like, does the robot I like win? And a couple of matches I felt were one-sided to the point of detriment. Duck versus Quantum and Bombshell versus Lockjaw. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it an 8.5. And
Oh,
just for the sake of showing you that, just for the sake of showing you that I'm not just making noise, I can name 2 episodes that I liked more, namely the first episode of the season and the Desperado tournament.
All right. That's fair. I think that's fair. Yeah, so that covers episode 11 of BattleBots 2019. And next week is episode 12. And so far we know Minotaur versus Shatter is going to be a match. I think we might be getting either Huge versus Mammoth or Huge versus Bronco. I'm not 100% sure.
Bronco versus Hydra.
I can actually. Do you mind if I confirm it?
Should we?
Is it publicly available, outside of the supporters page?
No, it's not.
Then
we can't say.
Don't say anything.
Yeah. Okay then.
Well, because from what somebody shared a description from their DirecTV, and they said that the main event of the next episode is gonna be Hydra versus Bronco.
Aha!
Oh,
Nice.
Okay, that's fair
Actually,
game.
okay, so I won't say what it is, but I can confirm that is not it.
Oh.
So I will
DirecTV's got their
confirm. I
stuff
can
mixed up.
confirm that at least for the next episode, I won't say what it is to keep it a surprise. But no, it will not be Bronco versus Hydra. But
Okay.
you weren't half right though. Bronco is in it.
Okay.
All we're gonna say is that
Hopefully, it
I'm on
can
the
redeem
Wikipedia
itself
page.
after the bad titanium.
So
it does say this is gonna be huge.
Huge.
The title of the next episode. That's on Wikipedia.
Well,
You gotta have Jonathan Schultz on for the next episode, Brandon.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna talk to him, see if he's available anytime next week, and hopefully we won't be tired by then, because this has been a long, exhausting week.
Yeah. What could he
Yeah.
possibly have that's more important than this podcast? Robots? Family? Come on.
Job.
oh,
Who cares about any of those things? All we want are the fighting robots.
Yeah. Yep. So until episode 12, I am the Hardcore Kid.
I'm Otaku Nate.
I'm Ryan Beaver.
I'm ResettisReplicas. I'm not Mile High anymore.
He's sobered up.
Aw.
Peace out, and it's robot fighting time.
Cheer up.